Joining me now is Rama Mani. She is the founder of the Theater of Transformational Academy. Thank you so much for being with us. And Rama, tell me, the Spirit of Humanity Forum, what has it meant to you?
It's been a beautiful space to be. Already the fact that it's in Iceland and in the city Reykjavik, which wants to be and is becoming a city of peace. I also mention Iceland because it is a country that has 100% renewable energy. So a country that's chosen, that's made a conscious choice to be in harmony with the planet, just as the people have been for hundreds of years. And the forum has chosen to be situated in this island of few people and yet of such depth, history, connection to the earth. So it seems to epitomize what the forum is about, which is how can we reawaken the spirit of humanity, and that's what I've really felt.
Tell me where you're from and a little bit about your upbringing.
Mm-hmm. I grew up in India, and ironically, for most people who are 18 now and have already run out of their first couple of passports, till I was 18 I didn't have a passport. So I truly grew up in India. I was well educated, so I guess I knew that other countries existed in the world, but I never imagined leaving India because all my passions were caught up with issues of India, profound issues of injustice which burnt my heart, injustice between people, castes, religions, and injustice against women. So that was the way I grew up, just with a profound passion for justice and a belief that we could create a beautiful world.
And do you see anything within the forum, the Spirit of Humanity Forum, that can help change what you grew up with in India?
I believe that it may be the only thing that could. I have come profoundly to believe, not to just believe, but to know, having spent much of my earlier part of my professional life working in the political arena, working on conflict, working on governance. What I realized is it's only through the reawakening of our sense of humanity, of what the forum is calling the spirit of humanity, that needs to be rekindled in each of us. And for me, the second part of that, which is the spirit of creativity that makes us uniquely human. So this capacity to empathize with the other again, and the capacity to know that however difficult things become, we are creative beings who can, in adversity, use our creativity to find new ways. I find both of them are really anchored here. We're surrounded by creative. The space has been made so creative and artistic. The way in which the sessions are designed have art woven into them, and everything is designed for us to be able to connect to our humanity.
Do you become more hopeful, more optimistic when you get together with people that come to a place like the Spirit of Humanity Forum?
I do, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes, people go off to a place where they're surrounded with like-spirited people and it feels good, and then the bubble, you've heard that. What I like here is that every single person has come here not simply to escape from the tough life they are living, the difficult situations of conflict, of suffering that they want to transform. It's not as a sense of escape, but it's to expand and connect with others to find better collective solutions to what needs to be done. So it's in a sense, it's like we're bringing our worlds in here. We are enriching ourselves and each other by discovering new ways in which, new capacities in which we could bring new solutions into the world. And that's what makes me hopeful.
Rama, I was part of one of your sessions, and some of the words that kind of resonated with me were collective, collaboration, and the ability for people to get outside of themselves and become something greater, something together. How do you go about bringing that out of people?
I think it's because, and it's lovely actually I can say this, James, because you became this extraordinary woman and I could feel her. And what you said about her was she sees the best in everyone and she brings out the best in everyone. And I loved it because standing there next to you, I could feel that, and I could feel how much that's become part of you. And I think that's exactly what I love, is that I love meeting someone and within 30 seconds being able to see all kinds of worlds and beings inside them, and then creating that space so all of that can come out, and all of us can get charged with that depth of humanity because of your willingness to go beyond who you are and bring that person in. So that's the great joy, and it's really this recognition. I think I had it about 17 years ago, that we've come to such a place in humanity that no one of us, the age of gurus, of some great genius coming up with a solution to our problems is over. And the only way will be if we can harness our collective and creative intelligence, our collective and creative, I prefer the word wisdom, and co-create the new. And that is partly harnessing everything we've got from the past, including, as you did, the people of the past who've shaped and inspired and influenced us to be who we are and who we've become, as well as pulling the kind of future that we, each of us individually know, but collectively can bring into reality. So it's really, how can the today become a beginning of creating tomorrow fully with the wisdom and knowledge and creativity of our ancestors.
With all of the conflict and controversy, with all of the dilemmas that we face, from climate change to poverty to starvation to war, do you remain optimistic? Do you remain hopeful? And is that optimism, if you are, is it growing?
Okay. I would say yes, only because all of my work is in the areas of greatest suffering. Because I work with humanitarian workers and refugees and peace workers who are working in Syria, and I'm in and out of Palestine working with, political activists who've chosen day upon day to remain non-violent and look for and build the bridges in the Congo, in India, in the slums, and over there. I am not, as we believe in the West, that when adversity strikes, people become egocentric. The contrary. There, every day, I witness and learn and am edified and inspired by the testimonies of transformation of ordinary people who are extraordinary. And that is why I do what I do. And the Theatre of Transformation is about bringing those extraordinary testimonies of transformation of ordinary people into our worlds and saying, if they could, we all can. If they are creating a paradise under the bombs, in the midst of suffering, behind the walls of separation, in the slums of filth and deprivation, we are.
Final question. If you had the opportunity to speak to all 7.2 billion people on this earth, what message would you leave them?
I would say, you are right. The power of love is so much greater than the love of power. Thank you for teaching me that. You are right.